In Poor Richard's Almanac, Benjamin Franklin said, "After crosses and losses, men grow humbler and wiser." Over the course of his life, Franklin epitomized his own words, progressing from self-indulgence to humility. The 20-something who fled his father's commanding household was a very different human than the old, wizened Franklin whom we know and love. Once he had generated his 13 virtues, he took them upon himself and changed his life in a noticeable fashion. Humility and moderation, among his virtues, were evident in his everyday life. Over the next few minutes, you will see very briefly how his two epitaphs, one written as a young man, the other as an old one, demonstrate his evolution and identify the older as the wiser Franklin. At 22 years old, Franklin composed his own mock epitaph. It read, "The body of B. Franklin, printer, like the cover of an old book, its contents torn out and stripped of its lettering and gilding, lies here food for worms. But the work shall not be lost, for it will, as he believed, appear once more in a new and more elegant edition, revised and corrected by the author." Immediately some elements jump out. If it is broken down, the young Franklin's ideals suddenly become evident. He refers to himself as B. Franklin, printer, by last name, as a gentleman does, and what 22-year-old is truly a gentleman. He also titles himself as printer, which he had not yet completely become, yet as which he already saw himself being remembered. Then the glorification amplifies. He is like the cover of an old book, its contents torn out and stripped of its lettering and gilding. Alive, however, he must have been lettered and gilded and full of content, an attractive, lively, intelligent individual. Also, by comparing himself to the book, that is, what he truly loved, he elevates himself to their level of divinity. Finally, he asserts that he will appear once more in a new and more elegant edition, revised and corrected by the author. This is an allusion to his next life in heaven. He, the book, will appear in a new and more elegant edition, that is, as a better and more complete human, revised and corrected by the author of course being God, and his flaws done away with in heaven. His overly complicated wording is that of a man who sees himself as greater than those around him. His lengthiness implies that there is much to say about him and the great man that he would be. In general, he is a pompous, egotistical young man. The old Benjamin Franklin was simpler, more concise, humbler. His final epitaph is short and nondescript, separating him from no one else in the graveyard. He seems to say, "I was an average man, nothing more, nothing less." He epitomizes two of his virtues, humility, obviously, and moderation, balancing content with concision. It reads, very plainly, Benjamin and Deborah Franklin, 1790.